Hey guys, I know I'm going live at a strange time today, but wait till you see what we've got going on. Let me just share this to a couple of places and we will get started. How's everybody doing today? It is gorgeous outside, but I am, again, making some samples for, whoops, I shared that to the wrong spot. Making some samples for some big shows that I have coming up, so hang in there with me and I will get this going. I think it's going to be really fun. Had this planned for a little bit, so I think hopefully it'll look as good as I think it is, but we'll see. I think it's going to be cute. Okay, almost done. I have one more place to share this to and we will get started. How many of you guys like to swim with sea turtles? Have you ever done that? One more spot here. Page and Canada. Okay. There we go. Okay, let me move my camera over. Hello everybody. Sorry that takes me a couple of minutes to get started when I'm setting up for my live. All that I'm really doing is making sure that I'm sharing to my VIP group, my business opportunity group, as well as my friends in Canada. So we're going to get started on a really fun project. I haven't done this before. It's kind of been in my head for a little while, so we'll see how it goes. Just going to set up my camera so that you can see my project and you can see me all at the same time, and we'll get started. So let me also remove that for now. Okay, so if you like what you see here, I do have a link up in the description of this live that will show you how you can get almost everything that's included. However, if you are in my VIP group, there will be a bundle available coming soon. I'm still waiting for a couple of the things to come back in stock, and it's really just paste colors and things like that. So what I'm working on today is a double-sided box frame. This is a beautiful heavy-duty surface. You can hang it, you can stand it. You can use the white side or you can flip it over and use the stained side, horizontal, vertical. It is absolutely up to you. But the transfer that we're using today is going to be going in this direction. And I have this adorable Seize the Day turtle transfer. So we're going to be playing with this today. We're going to do a little bit of watercolor look. And we're also going to be making a 3D with a little chalkboard turtle. So I think it's going to be darling. This is going to be a bundle that I'm bringing with me to a couple shows I have coming up. I'm going to be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in July, as well as I do a state fair in Massachusetts in September and October. So it's going to take, I'm going to need quite a few of these, but you guys have to tell me if you like them. Tell me what you think when we get it going. So as always, I'm going to write on the back of this, Seize the Day. So that way I'll remember to put it back on the right side of the carrier sheet. This side that I just wrote on is very dull. However, the other side that the transfer sticks to is a very slick, like a sticker back. So our transfers are sticky and they are reusable. So you might want to make even more than one of these babies with your transfer. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is that watercolor technique I told you about. And I'm just going to use a little plastic plate. This is something that Chalk Couture has. I'm trying to make sure everything's in your view. But if you don't have them at home, you can use a plastic coated paper plate or a piece of tin foil, whatever you got that doesn't absorb the paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of this color. This is called Ocean Mist. And I'm also going to be using a little bit of this color called Eucalyptus to kind of create a wash watercolor look on my board. I think it's going to be super cute. Need one of these stir sticks. I'm probably going to need 2 trays too, so I don't get them all muddled up, right? Okay, so I get a little bit of this, and you don't need a lot. Just a little tiny bit I have on a stir stick here. If you don't have a stir stick, use the end of a plastic silverware or a fat Q-tip, whatever you got. Just put a little bit of this into your palette, which again could be anything like a paper plate with a coating on it or tin foil, whatever you want. So after you've got your paste out, you're going to add just a little bit of water. It really doesn't matter this time if it's distilled or if it's plain water, because we're not going to be putting it back into the little paste packet that it comes with. So I'm just going to stir this up because I want it to be about the consistency of watercolors. Don't want it to be real bright or really thick. Just want a nice light watercolor look, and I think I've got that. By George. Okay, let's do the same with the green. I'm using eucalyptus and ocean mist. Both really, really pretty colors. Hey Melissa, how are you today? Welcome aboard. We're going to be doing some cool techniques. I'm going to be doing some watercoloring as well as the hot mess technique. Okay, so that looks ready to go. I'm going to grab a paintbrush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a light coat of this paint that we just made, the chalk paint. We did make it into chalk paint, and just kind of brush it all over the board. I think I'm actually going to wet the board a little bit before I even go much further, so that I can thin it out even more. I want it to kind of look like water, so watercolor. So I'm not being real fussy, I'm just brushing it on. And then I'm going to go back in with that eucalyptus green and add a little bit more color because it's going to look super cool. Yes, these are the things that keep me awake at night. So we've got our little coat of the ocean mist. So let's grab another brush and we'll do the eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is a gorgeous color. It's kind of, it's a green obviously, but it's kind of a bluish green. So I'm just kind of swirling it a little bit so that it looks like it's moving water. Maybe I'll get a little bit more blue on top of that. You can keep adding and changing this up as much as you want. See, I am not an artist by trade. I'm pretty good with the transfer, but with a paintbrush, yeah, I get by. So I'm just kind of getting a nice watery looking wash on there. And again, you can keep going as much as you want. I'm going to hold this up so you can see it a little bit better. I don't know how perfectly you can see with the lighting I have here, but it's looking pretty good. I'm just going to go in a little bit more and define the colors just a bit. A lot of this is going to be hidden behind our turtle, of course. And we've kind of got some motion of the ocean going on here. It looks pretty good. Okay. I just smudged all my lines. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to dry it up a little bit. And I'm using a heat tool. I used to use this mostly for embossing, but I mostly use it for drying my chalk paste now. If you have one of these, you're welcome to use it. Just make sure you keep it moving, because if you leave it in one spot too long, you can actually burn your chalk paste or your fingers, so be real careful about that. Chalk paste dries really, really quickly, especially when you heat it up. You can air dry it or just let it go. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, so next we're going to, I think I'm going to do the turtle next. I'm just going to put this aside. I don't know how well you can see, but it's kind of got a nice watercolor look to it. I'll put that aside for now, and we're going to work on the turtle first. Cover up these jars a little bit, and I have my turtle right here, but of course before we use the transfer we want to fuzz it. This is a brand new transfer. Actually, if you had seen it on my post this morning, it is going to be retiring soon, and it's while supplies last, if you happen to want one. So I'm going to peel it from the carrier sheet and put that aside, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach and reattach it to a towel. This is a fuzzing towel if you do not have one. This is a Chalk Couture branded fuzzing towel. It's terry cloth on one side and microfiber on the other. They can be ordered on my website as well, but if you don't have one, you can use a bath towel, a dish towel, your t-shirt, your jeans, whatever you got. Okay, so that's been fuzzed. I'm going to put this over here. And I have made this cute little chalkboard turtle. My husband and I cut these out ourselves, and we have fun doing that. So there's my little turtle, and I made it just a little bit bigger than the transfer itself. So it should fit on here nicely. Let's see if I can get it in the right spot. That is always the tricky part. So what I found is when I find that I think I'm in the right spot, I just hold it up to the light. You can see through it and get a pretty good idea of where you are. Wow, that's pretty good. Got it on the first shot this time. Sometimes it takes me a couple times to do it. If you have a light box, that also helps a lot. So, okay. So my plan is to do hot mess on the shell of the turtle and to do his head and his fins in the green color. So let me pull this out again. And I'm also going to use this blue. This blue is called Colonial Blue. It's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take another. I think I'll do the head and the fins first, actually. So let me get a couple squeegees ready. I'm using mini squeegees. You want to use the squeegee that fits the size of the transfer you're working at. I also have this one. This is called a small squeegee, but as you can see, it's really big for this transfer, so I'm going to be using minis today. Most of my samples come with minis. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that chalk paste and spread a thin layer over the open areas in the screen. I'm trying not to go outside the lines here, but put a thin coat on any place that you want it to show. So I've got a head and one fin so far, a little bit right there. Like this. Keep going till they're all covered. We were in Maui a couple months ago, and there were lots of turtles where we were. I didn't get to see one up close and personal, but my husband sure did. And it's an amazing experience if you ever have the chance to swim with sea turtles, especially out in the wild and not like in SeaWorld. It's a little bit different. Something about them being wild and not in an aquarium or a swimming pool or something like that. Okay, so I've got him covered. All of his legs or fins as well as his face have been covered. I'm going to put the squeegee aside because I'm going to go back in and scrape off the excess in just a minute. So to do the hot mess technique, I'm going to be using, I think I'm going to use the Colonial. I'm going to take some of the Colonial Blue on my spatula, and again, you can use whatever you happen to have, a plastic fork or spoon. The back side of it, the handle, is perfect. This is a makeup applicator, but I also have some on my website if you are interested. They come in pretty teal color. So I've done the blue. Now I'm going to go back in and grab some of the green, the eucalyptus, and dot that around too. If you happen to be catching me on replay today and have any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. I think this is going to be so cute. Okay, so what I'll do next is go back in and scrape off all of that excess eucalyptus that is on there. There's very, very little waste. It all goes right back into the jar. However, when you are doing that hot mess technique, you're going to be blending your colors together, and you won't want to put those back in the jar because they're going to be all mixed up. Won't be your true colors anymore. Okay, so that's been scraped. So now I'm going to take that squeegee. I have these all dotted around on here. I hope you saw me do that. I'm just going to go in and spread this all around on the turtle shell so that we get both of those colors kind of blended in there. This is a really fun technique. Lots of my customers love doing things like this. And it does look pretty cool. If you are watching this either live or on replay, thank you for hitting your SHARE tab. Sharing my videos is one way that I get to meet new customers, and I can share more about what Chalk Couture is with new people. So thank you for sharing. This little spot in here can't get it there. Got it. Okay. So we have got it all covered. I'm scraping the excess of that off. And I'm just going to wipe my squeegee off on a paper towel. I'm not going to put that back in the jar, but there was very, very little left on it. All right, it is time to peel and reveal. Who's ready? Drum roll. This is always the fun part. So when you are pulling your transfer off, you're very tempted to be starting from the corner and just pulling from there. As soon as you can grab it from the center of any edge, the better. Just kind of move this so you can see. Grab the center and pull it up. Oh, it's so pretty. That is one pretty turtle. So cute. Can you see that? Isn't that darling? So it's going to look even better once we get it all together and put it on our watercolor. I'm going to hit that with my dryer for just a moment. Didn't that come out awesome? So as I was saying, I do have a link to this in the description of my live. It does not include this cute little turtle here. However, if you are interested in purchasing this as a bundle and you're not already in my VIP group, put VIP in the comments so I can send you the link so that you can join us there. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to put him on top of here and see how cute it looks. Oh, it's really darling. I wish you could see the color of the background. It doesn't seem to be showing up in the camera as well as it is in person, but it looks really good. Trust me. Okay. Yikes. Making a mess here. What's new? Let me get that off the table before I put my project in it. Okay, we are going to be going back to add a little bit more of that watercolor in a bit. But first, I'm going to take that transfer again and lay it in the board. So, let's see if we can get this on here. And I'm going to do the lettering in here in that beautiful colonial blue. It's just gorgeous. I love the color. So that'll show up nicely on the watercolor surface. Rub that down. I'm going to take my squeegee. I usually like to go over it with the squeegee just to make sure there are no bumps, bubbles, or folds in the surface. You don't have to do all the blue areas, but just the areas that you're chalking. And sometimes when you hit an air bubble, you'll hear it like snap, crackle, and pop like Rice Krispies. That looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go in there with the blue. And you just need a thin layer. You don't have to put too much on there. Just as long as it's covered, you are golden. And the excess goes back. A little more than I needed there. And we have our C's done. And we'll go down to the bottom and do the day also in the same color. Hope I didn't hit the foot there. It won't matter, I'll cover it anyway. Okay, we're almost done. Should we add a little sparkle to this like the ocean water would be? Okay. All right, that part is done also. And let's see if I can grab this. Need a little tool to get in here. There we go. And again, we're going to peel that away. Oh, that blue is so pretty. So pretty. Okay, so can you see where we're going with this? Our turtle's going to go there. We are going to add a little more. We just have to, right? I'm going to dry this up a little bit. All right, that looks great. So my next thing, I'm going to go back in there with my light blue, my Ocean Mist chalk paste that's been watered down. I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to brush a little bit more of it on. And then I've got some really pretty glitter. This, I don't know if you can see this, but it's an iridescent jumbo size glitter. Super pretty, and I think it's going to pull up all of the colors that we've been using. And make sure I have this open and ready to go, because has it not been opened yet? Doesn't look like it is. Thought I've used this. All right, now it's open. Maybe not. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. Take it off. Yep, it's got one of those crazy protective covers on it. I'll pull that off. All right, we are back in business. As soon as I get this part off. Doesn't want to come off. All right, we'll just leave it. Okay, so let's go in and do that little bit of watercolor more. And again, I am using just a little Ocean Mist. I'm going to make a little bit more. Water it down just a smidge. I want it to be like a watercolor. It doesn't need to be really bright. I don't want it to take away from our turtle or the seize the day phrase. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my paintbrush and just kind of lightly brush it around on the area, or mostly around the edges. The turtle's going to cover the center, so I'm not too concerned about that part. But let's just get this a little bit wet. And get in there with some glitter. That looks cool. It really does. Some people hate using glitter because it is messy, and I will agree with that. I don't hate it. It just is definitely messy. Look how cool that looks, though. So I'm gonna like press this down just a tiny little bit, and then we'll shake off the excess glitter and add our turtle to finish it up. Shake it onto this. Okay, here we go. Looks really cute. Look how pretty that looks. Doesn't it look like the ocean? Okay. That is done. Let me cover up my chalk paste real quick here. And then we will attach that turtle to the surface and she will be done. This was such a fun project. I love using different kinds of mediums. And I think the watercolor technique and the turtle, look how lovely that looks. All right, so to attach the turtle, I'm just going to get my trusty old hot glue gun that didn't get turned on. So I might have to do that later. All right, I thought I plugged it in, but I guess I didn't. So that is what it will look like when it's all said and done. I'm going to glue that with my hot glue gun. And I think this is an adorable little summer accent for anybody who loves summer, the beach, or turtles, or just, like I said, needs to channel their inner mermaid. I hope that you enjoyed this project. I hope you learned a little bit. Thank you so much for sharing, and come back again sometime. I'm going to be working on lots of cute little projects like this in bundles. And I need to make samples, so you guys ought to be along with me for the ride, right? Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.